Okay, this is my debate on the Wednesday Night Wars and will it destroy NXT? Let's put this in perspective. Look, when Raw started in 1993, I was 22 years old. That's 26 years ago. And in that entire time, you had a product that if you go 100%, I say about 70, maybe 75% of Raw has been good. Of course, they had some really bad lulls, particularly in the mid-2010s. All the way up until now, has been so bad. You can see the NXT in my face. This has been the only thing that has kept WWE interesting to many hardcore fans, and I believe some casuals have begun to really begin to be interested in NXT. So this is what I see. I've heard a lot of people being afraid. I heard a lot of people very anxious and excited, and many are apprehensive. The one you should be worried about is to be afraid. Let's be honest here. You should be afraid. We are talking about Vince McMahon possibly and will be taking over to a certain extent NXT on USA Network. There is no way. Let me crank it back a little bit, because I want to make this very clear. What is NXT? Because a lot of people, they see NXT, but they don't understand what it really represents. At least by my humble perspective, this is what I believe. It's by interpretation. Anybody's going to have a different interpretation. But I do believe many people don't get what NXT really is. But this is just my interpretation. You can say I'm wrong. I understand. But this is what I believe NXT is. It is a hybrid. It is the Attitude Era mixed with Golden Age wrestling from the 70s, 80s. That's what NXT is. You got the late 90s into the early 2000s of the real Attitude Era when it was hot. And then you have Golden Age wrestling with the 70s, mainly the 80s. Not really saying much in the 90s. But that is what NXT is. And that is what Paul Levesque, Triple H himself, has created and developed. This is Triple H's baby. He created the thing that he loved the most. He created Golden Age wrestling. He created the Attitude Era. He created these things in this developmental promotion. It is a developmental promotion. That's what this really is. Because when it comes down to it, yes, it's still a part of the WWE. It's controlled by the WWE. It's sponsored by the WWE. They get their pyrotechnics from the WWE. But let's be honest, it is still a developmental promotion, even if it's in-house. And NXT has delivered for the last 5 years almost. 5 years of NXT has generally delivered. And Vince doesn't care. If he did, he would have been involved with NXT and really understood the product, because he said it himself, I don't watch none of it. I never watched not even one episode. He even stated that in his own talk on his own website. So when you see this, you're very worried and afraid that when Vince gets his hands on NXT, because he's going to put his hands on it, there's no way the USA Network is going to let NXT be on for 2 hours and it's only going to be Paul running it. And I know I don't need to say Paul. I could say Triple H. But this is the truth. Paul is going to run this. He is the current person running that developmental promotion that could become its own brand after this. Just like ECW back in 2006. But with the difference of ECW, it was not created exclusively on the network. It was just put on TV. And it sank or swam that way. It did pretty good for a little while, but then people just lost interest because they didn't put anybody on there developed properly. But you're talking about NXT that has been exclusive on the network with nothing else even coming close to it. Of course, you got NXT UK and you got 205 Live, I know. But we're talking about NXT, which was developed before any of those. So when you got this, you're worried that the Velveteen Dream, who I believe is one of the best characters next to Johnny Gargano, the most developed next to Johnny Gargano. I know there's tons of people, Tommaso Ciampa, you got so many people there. Look, when it comes down to it, Bianca Belair, I love that girl. Mia Yen, I want to marry that woman. She's so damn sweet, beautiful, and sexy, and intelligent. But when I see a Mia Yen, and I see a Bianca Belair, and I see a Velveteen Dream, and particularly the people who say he is the heart of NXT, Johnny Gargano, just like Tommy Dreamer, became the heart of I'm about to say NXT, ECW before its end. You now have Johnny Gargano, who is the heart of NXT, who has done incredible feuds with Tommaso Ciampa, who's done incredible feuds with Aleister Black, who's now been working with Adam Cole. And I haven't even seen the product in months, but at least I've heard enough to know that the feuds have been great. This is where things can turn really bad, because Vince could possibly look at this product and say, this is not going to work. It's got to be changed, Paul. It's going to be changed. That's it. Because if Vince rewrites SmackDown 1 hour or 30 minutes before it airs live, and I say this again, live television happens at 8 o'clock, and at 7:30 Vince rewrote or was trying to rewrite the script for the entire show like he's done for Raw multiple times, there is no way NXT is not going to work properly. But here's the thing. Many people say because Vince will be a part of it, maybe him and Kevin Dunn could give things to the NXT brand a little bit to make it better, to give it a little bit of extra edge, a little bit of extra specialness. I just don't see it. I'm going to be honest here. I have been reluctant to look at NXT mainly due to the fact, and I have been busy. That has been not a lie. I've been working on learning how to animate. Right now I'm trying to make another animation that's going to have singing in it. I'm not going to sing, I'm going to do it from an actual song. And it is very complicated to actually animate the mouth of the animated figure I've been using. It could take me weeks. I'm not like everybody else. I'm slow. There are people who can do it in days or hours. It takes me weeks because I'm not the fastest guy doing it. I'm still learning. But I have not had a very strong interest looking at NXT. I've been busy, but then I'm not going to lie. I don't have an interest because I know what happens to them on the main roster. Look at Ember Moon. I love Ember Moon. I saw her on Reality of Wrestling. Briefly. I saw maybe one episode of Reality of Wrestling briefly before she went to NXT. Before she switched from Ember Moon to Athena. I only saw her once. And I said, that girl's going somewhere. And I knew she was going to go somewhere. And look what happened to NXT. She became a god on NXT. She was so beloved. She won the people over. And what has she been doing? Nothing. Look at what's going on with EC3. EC3 busted his ass on Impact Wrestling. He built himself a great character. Then he finally, and this is understanding, he left WWE because they got rid of him. He went to Impact, built himself up so well that Triple H was willing to take him back and fast-tracked him. And then he was doing so well. Then threw him onto the main roster. What was it? 18, February. Interested in Hell. So crazy. Wait a minute, is it 2018? Or 2019? I can't remember. But either February of 2018, February of 2019, he comes to the main roster. Can't even remember. Frustrated. But he came in hot as hell. Interested, enthusiastic. Within 2 to 3 months, he didn't give a damn because he knew he wasn't going to get anywhere. Look at the Ascension. Look at Heavy Machinery. What are they doing? Look at the War Raiders, who have now been called the Viking Raiders, and the Viking Experience, and something else. They've been changed around so many times. Look at what happened with American Alpha. They came on, went to SmackDown when it was still good, was built up great. Chad Gable was doing wonderful with Shelton Benjamin. Then, broke them up. Separated them. I know I could talk about Jason Jordan with him, but that's an entirely different situation because Jason Jordan got hurt. Yes, they did split them up, but Jason Jordan got hurt, and they could have brought them back together and made the original American Alpha. I'm going by the current American Alpha, and that was with Shelton Benjamin, who now looks like he's going to start teasing a I don't even remember what they're now calling Chad Gable. Chatty or something? Sweet Chad or Sweet Gable, whatever. It's stupid. This is what they've done with so many of the characters coming from NXT. Unless you're a Charlotte Flair. And I am not lying about how Charlotte is. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Charlotte's a good wrestler. She's just not like her dad. And people are making her like her dad. She's not an adaptive wrestler. But she's a damn good wrestler. But she can't adapt. But what makes her so special is not because she's a good or damn good wrestler, because she's Charlotte Flair. And if anybody thinks I'm just chewing her out because I hate her, it's not that. I'm sorry. It's like what was happening with Roman Reigns. It's not that Roman is one of the greatest wrestlers there is. Before Roman got cancer back, before he got his leukemia back, he was being pushed out of our butts. Well, into our butts by the WWE, not out of our butts, into our butts by the WWE. And a lot of people couldn't stand it. Not because they couldn't stand Joe Anoa'i. No one hates him. I don't even hate Joe Anoa'i. The character that he portrays on WWE TV sucked. And that was a major issue. Now look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is being pushed the same way as Roman Reigns. And soon he will be hated just like Roman Reigns. And he's an NXT guy. Think about how much they had to do to get the Shield to work. Broke up the Shield. Seth Rollins had to bust his ass to make his character work, which he did, then got hurt, then came back. The character was garbage. Then he managed on his own to get people to be interested again. And now he's beginning to lose interest because they're pushing him so badly. Look what happened clearly to the one person who has shown a bright light in the WWE, and that's Dean Ambrose. Jon Moxley had proven that the WWE doesn't do anything without Vince's approval. The writers make Vince happy. The producers make Vince happy. The cameramen make Vince happy by doing it exactly like he wants. And a lot of people want to say, well, he owns the company. Yes, he does. But he's supposed to make the fans happy. You're orientated to creating a product that's supposed to make your fans happy. The people who ingest your product. And if you're making a product to make yourself happy, then what type of product are you making? Is it a product for the people that you're trying to get money from, that you're not trying to disenfranchise? Or are you making a product for yourself, and the collateral of it is that, well, the fans may like it? This is what we're getting when it comes to NXT. We're going to get Vince September 18th being either totally control or partially control of NXT compared to Triple H. And he's going to do it the way he feels things need to be done. Triple H is not going to stop him. He may argue with him. He may debate with him. But in the end, it's his stuff. Unless Paul Levesque, and I did a video on this once, long time ago, just as a story of what would happen if Paul Levesque left WWE and if he tried to come back and tried to make something out of it. That's what I did. But if we're going to be honest here, Paul could actually go off and make his own promotion. He has the credibility. And there's a good chance he can get collateral for anything he needs. He could become the next Vince McMahon if he chooses to leave the company, even at the age of near 50 or 51. I think he's almost 50. He's like almost my age. So, I think he's about 50 almost. So, he could actually leave the WWE and go and produce his own promotion, or go to another promotion and help it out. I'm not saying he will. But Vince doesn't get what Triple H gets. He sees how much of the landscape has changed. And Vince doesn't get it. Why do you think he had to put Paul and supposedly Eric Bischoff in control of SmackDown and Raw? Because he's not getting it. Or, like I said in one of my videos, he just wants Fall Guys, so when he's still running the product, no one's going to chew him out. They're going to chew out Eric, and they're going to chew out Paulie. So when it comes down to it, if you get anything from this, I don't believe NXT is going to be the same at all after, I say, a month. A very good possibility after a month, you're going to see changes that are going to be permanent for NXT. Whether Vince is going to make those decisions, because I had to think about that for a minute, because I know Triple H is going to have to make changes because Vince is going to order him to. He's just going to make him do it. Because in the end, Vince is going to tell him, do this. And then Paul is going to have to change the show to accommodate that and still try to make it as entertaining as possible. But to be honest, after a month, you're never going to see the same NXT as you see now. We're going to go back on this in a year. I'm going to say that this was the day NXT changed. Now, could it be changed for the better? Maybe. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be changed for the worst. Not because I think Paul can't do a good job. It's because Vince is going to make it the way he wants it to be. Not because the fans are going to want it to be different. Not because the producers of the show, including Triple H, wanted to be different. Not because of the network and the network brass want it different. It is going to be because of Vince. Being Vince, not caring if the product is going to please the people. He's going to make it to wherever he feels is going to be good for himself. Not for the fans. But this is just my point of view. Have a good day. Have a good night. Oh, I am going to be doing a Rhino documentary review. It's not going to be today. It'll probably be Monday or Tuesday it's going to come out. So watch for it. Peace!